I will reveal to you BlackRock's big secret they have around their Bitcoin ETF. You won't believe it. And BlackRock's Ethereum ETF crosses $1 billion in total value as ETF inflows continue to surge. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, I want to highlight something here. CZ, former CEO of Binance, also known as Changpeng Zhao, is officially back on Twitter. Yesterday, he was released from jail. He tweeted out late last night, GM. So we'll see what else we hear from CZ. Although, part of the settlement and the court orders is he has to stay away from crypto or Binance. Maybe not from crypto entirely, but from Binance for sure. So he may still tweet about crypto, talk about it, but I don't think he can get involved with anything related to Binance's operations. Now, guys, Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs continue to perform really well. Let me share some stats with you. The weekly inflows of Bitcoin ETFs was at $1.1 billion just this week. Incredible stuff. And this is for all the ETFs. The weekly inflows for Ethereum ETFs was $85 million. BlackRock approaches $24 billion of assets under management for their Bitcoin ETF. That's incredible. And we haven't passed a year yet, folks. These things were launched back in, May, March, or around there. It's incredible the amount of inflows we've seen and the demand for it. So the cumulative Bitcoin ETF inflows passes new all-time high of $18.8 billion. Now, to add to that, we got to report that U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs logged the highest inflow day since June, 2-month high in total value. So following a 7 trading day streak of inflows and bolstered by the rising price of Bitcoin, the total assets held by US spot Bitcoin ETFs has reached a 2-month high. Friday also marked the largest inflows to the funds since early June, a nearly 4-month high. So I think investors are starting to sense the bullish momentum here with the Fed rate cuts, the macros setting up, global liquidity breaking out, China doing stimulus and injecting billions of dollars. All of these things are bullish for risk assets, such as the crypto market, stock market, and so forth. So this is why people are bullish. They're starting to take a position now. And this is still a good position to accumulate because we haven't hit the highs yet, the all-time highs. And I believe the final fifth wave, as some would call it from a technical analysis standpoint, is coming. And we could see the start of that in Q4. So this is where, October, or Uptober as they call it, could be very interesting for ETFs and the entire crypto market. But overall, things are moving. And of course, just this past week, the SEC approved BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF options, which is so bullish, right? It's going to bring in a ton of institutional demand and liquidity, a lot more capital. However, in the long term, I am worried about this because we've seen these type of products have been used to manipulate gold and precious metals, right? If you study what happened in that market, in the short term, it's incredibly bullish. So this is why you need to have a plan to take your profits as the market heads to its all-time high and blow off top so that you're not left going through another bear market and there's no guarantee that you're going to have an incredible performance in the next bull market cycle. We can certainly hope. We can look at the previous market cycle and say, yeah, it's going to, keep running up. And there is the law of diminishing returns, but there's no guarantee. So you want to make sure you take profits off the table and be prepared for any type of scenario. But this is obviously, like I said, very bullish. Now, here's something that a lot of people don't know about, and shout out to the user Beagle Bitcoin for highlighting this. He says, bull case not being talked about, BlackRock adding Bitcoin exposure to its other products like its global allocation fund. That fund already owns 198,000 shares of IBIT. This is going to accelerate. So, folks, this is very bullish. Their ETFs are not just standalone products. They're putting it in their other index funds or basket funds. That's amazing. I didn't realize that was happening. So what I did, I went to BlackRock's website. I looked up the global allocation fund. I did a search, and you can go do this, by the way, to verify it yourself. I did a search for Bitcoin. It shows the iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF in there. And it says the market value based on the number of shares is at $1.46 million. So BlackRock is saying, hey, we're going to put some of these ETFs, the Bitcoin ETFs, into these other index funds, these other basket products. And we're, of course, going to pitch it and sell it to different investors around the globe. Very bullish, folks. This is going to give more exposure, more capital, and so forth to the underlying assets like the ETFs. Once again, I didn't realize we were doing this. So shout out to that user who found this. And it's fascinating. And, game theory is going to play out here. The other players are going to do it too. Fidelity and all the other ARK and all the other big players. So, guys, I hope you see what's happening here. BlackRock brings a lot of legitimacy to this asset class. It helped to change the narrative around what took place with Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX and all the things of the past. And Bitcoin and crypto is going mainstream and different financial products are being built. It's pretty incredible. That's why, folks, I've gone full bull mode because I recognize where we're at in the market. I see global liquidity. I see what China is doing. I see the interest rate cuts. Now, don't get me wrong. There will be short-term volatility. That is par for the course. So expect that. Don't just think that, okay, it's just straight line up. No, and I'm prepared that, okay, maybe next week we see a dump. That's okay. From the macro, the table is being set here for incredible inflows to come in, a lot of capital. So very bullish stuff. Now, quick word from our sponsor, and that is Gemini, which makes it easy to buy crypto such as Bitcoin and altcoins. I've been a user of Gemini for years. I have accounts with different exchanges, and Gemini is one of them. And they have a lot of products, folks. They have a fully functional exchange with an app. They have staking. They have a credit card. They have a USD-backed stablecoin called Gemini Dollar. They have a Web3 creative studio called Nifty Gateway. And of course, they have derivatives products. So you can, of course, trade Bitcoin with perpetual contracts and so forth. So check out Gemini, guys. And if you sign up with my link and you buy at least $100 in Bitcoin, you can get $15 in Bitcoin for free. So check out the link in the description and go sign up. Now, moving ahead, guys, we got more bullish news around BlackRock's crypto ETFs. So BlackRock's Ethereum ETF eclipses $1 billion in assets. Nate Geraci of the ETF store said now in the top 20% of all 3,700 plus ETFs. Think about that. That thing was just launched months ago. It is now in the top 20%. These ETFs have been a game changer for the ETF market, guys. These guys have not seen anything like this. I've spoken to quite a few ETF experts. They have not seen anything like this. Nate Geraci said it did this in 2 months. So just imagine what a year from now will look like as the crypto prices start to rise and more of the mainstream people start to pick up on what's happening. And I think once Bitcoin hits that very round number of $100,000, you're going to see FOMO set in. That's a big number. A lot of people were saying Bitcoin's dead, Bitcoin's a scam and so forth. But you know how the dumb money crowd works. And I didn't make that term up. That is a Wall Street term. They will see that big round number and the psychological barrier will break down. Oh man, I better go grab some Bitcoin, right? That's the time to be selling, of course. That's why you want to be on the side of smart money. But I'm just sharing with you guys how the market psychology works. Once again, I don't make the rules. These are known facts. This is from the Wall Street cheat sheet. Go look it up, the psychology, right? And this is where you have to not be part of that herd and be buying in the lows when there's blood on the streets so that you can sell the blow off top. But this is so bullish. I mean, just imagine when the other altcoin ETFs come around like Cardano, XRP, Solana, and so forth. And hopefully we get those next year once crypto regulations have passed. I don't think we're going to get them now because of the SEC and scumbag regulator Gary Gensler, but we'll see what happens with the election. We'll see what happens with crypto regulation as well and where these things are going to go. But folks, these are the facts. Look at the growth. Look at the capital that's coming in. And of course, we're still waiting to see what Bitcoin's going to do to confirm this breakout. I'm still not fully sold yet. Like I said earlier, short-term volatility could still happen, right? Bitcoin could still pull back before finding that bottom and then moving up. But every day that it keeps building a higher high and climbing out of this accumulation zone will give us confirmation that this is indeed the move upward. But we have to watch out because, you know, you look at the daily RSI, it's approaching the 70 score mark. Remember, over 70 is overbought, below 30 is oversold. So that's a good measuring stick, but it can stay up in the overbought zone for a while. If you look back, it has done this before. So My hope is that it breaks through 70 and keeps the momentum going before pulling back for, building support levels and so forth. And then that liquidity flows to the altcoins. We're also watching the DXY. It is at 100.41. I'm waiting for this thing to break 100, guys. And look, we could see some short-term volatility where it finds some strength before ultimately breaking down. And then it's full risk on. There's going to be a ton of capital coming from money market funds and much more going into risk assets, not only crypto, but stocks, of course. And that is just going to be so bullish. Guys, I'm bullish. Can you tell? Right. But like I said, be prepared for short-term volatility. I know I'm excited, but I want to make sure I keep things balanced. I've been updating my profit taking targets and so forth. So I hope you're doing that as well. All right, folks, let me know what you think about this news. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. Also, be sure to sign up for my free email newsletter. It's 100% free. It's on Substack. And don't forget to grab a copy of my book, Rethinking Crypto. Grab a copy to support the podcast. Buy a few copies for your friends and family. Give it to them as gifts so they can learn about this technology. Give it to them as a gift this holiday. And if you bought a copy already, please leave a rating and review. It will really help me out. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.